Hi, Chris Speaks here back today with my man, uh, the captain. Want to talk to him about a subject that's going on right now that everybody in the world is taking place. Um, First of all, I didn't ask. Did I already ask you how you was doing, man?
Say that again.
Did I already ask you how you was doing? Did I already say that?
Oh man, I'm great, man. I'm great.
Okay. I didn't want to be rude. I didn't know if I'd already asked that. But anyway, something's just dominating the world right now, and man, I just gotta know, is it not time that we take the leash off the Jews like the Rottweiler they are and just let them go to town and tear some shit up?
Man, I think that America should I don't have an issue with America siding with Israel, but my issue comes in with America is constantly giving aid in the billions of dollars to these other nations, including Israel. And what do we get in return for that? Like that's my thing. We give a lot out, and what do we get back as a result? I don't
Okay.
really, same thing with Ukraine, same thing. But at least Israel, the difference between those two countries is Israel is the only free nation in that region of the world. No other country around them likes Israel, first of all, and neither
Right.
one of those nations has the same type of government set up as Israel. So they're the closest thing to us over there. And I mean, I get it as far as trade and whatnot, but we just tend to give, and we come to the aid of these countries. Speaking about militarily as well, a lot of these nations wouldn't exist if it wasn't for America having the might that we have as far as the military. So I don't have it. Like I said, no issue backing Israel. It's just to what extent should we do that? That's my thing.
You're talking about with military aid and stuff like backing them in that type of way, correct? Or whatever type of
Yeah,
aid.
yeah, like
Okay.
like definitely. I support backing them militarily, but my thing, even the financial, I could kind of understand. I'm just wondering, what do we get back? What do we get in return for the money and for the backing of our military? That's what I'm
Okay.
like. What do we get back for that?
So would you be in favor of cutting off military aid to Israel?
I'm not in favor of. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'd be in favor of cutting it off. I just want to know what are we getting in return for our military backing them, and
I mean,
for our
that's a good
monetary
question.
too. We send a lot of money, so what do we get back for that?
Yeah, that's a good question because we uh it's not there's a lot of oil in Jerusalem, so I'm not um that's a good point you're making there. But I want to ask this about but as far as the conflict goes, I mean, because they gave back the Sinai Heights, they gave back some of the Gaza Strip, so it seems like the Jews are trying, to offer some olive branches, and then when you have a massacre takes place like that, I mean, should we not just let them just steamroll through that place? I mean, because if they destroyed, you know, their water supplies, food supplies, power supplies, and killed 2 or 3 million people, they're going to start playing nice.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting how, and I just did a show with somebody, and they were talking about this very thing. And in Israel, they have Jews, you have Christians, and you have Muslims.
True.
So you have all of these religions coexisting within Israel. Not even talking about
Hmm.
Gaza Strip right now, just talking about
Right.
Israel itself.
In Israel itself.
Yes. So when people try to make it seem like, oh, Israel is cutting off aid and cutting off water and this and that to the Gaza Strip because they're Muslims and they're not Jews, that's at the very least it's disingenuous, and at the worst you're just a complete liar. Because if in Israel they're all living there together, working together hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense, because the people that, in order to there are Palestinians that are in Israel. So how do they get there? Like, they're allowed to go there. So, it's just crazy to even try to make it seem like it's Israel's fault that this conflict is going on, when within Gaza Strip you have the, quote unquote Palestinian people who are the peaceful people. Then you have Hamas, which is the
Right.
ones who are doing the airstrike and attacking Israel. But there's a million adult human beings that are Palestinians on Gaza Strip. Why are they not uprising and taking over Hamas, which is only, I was told, 25,000
Yeah,
strong?
it's
That
not
makes
a
no sense.
yeah. I mean, I just don't know if, or I mean, why are we not, you know, if again, I'm with you about getting involved militarily, but we arm everybody else. If if these people had the ability to put this down, uh, it looks like they would want that to happen. Because, like you said, you have all these people living in uh, uh, cohesion, and then you
Absolutely.
have this small militant wing. Um, I'm even more surprised that some of the other nations throughout the Middle East are not stepping in, because they're not even taking some of these Hamas refugees. They're too. They've aligned themselves with ISIS. Um, there's no negotiating. There's no bargaining. There's no sitting down at the table with these people right here. I mean, we got to do say we, but go back to how stuff was done in World War II, when we killed everything that moved, and eventually it's going to stop.
That's right. That's right. When you get to the point of war, in war, there's death. There is death that happens. There are casualties of war. Those individuals who are not necessarily engaged in the action of war, but they get harmed, injured, killed as a result of the war. It just happens. And
Yeah,
people are trying to claim that Israel is hitting hospitals, or they're hitting schools, or whatever, where kids are. But what they are not talking about is how Hamas uses these locations, hospitals, schools, to house their guns and their weapon, their ammunition, their weaponry. They have their leaders are bunkered in these places, so that when they do get do get hit with a missile or whatnot from Israel, all of a sudden Israel is the bad guys, because there's kids in this school, there's innocent women in this school. But they're not talking about the leader of Hamas that was in there, or all their gear and weaponry that they had stashed there, that we just destroyed, or that Israel just destroyed. And so Israel always gets looked at as the bad guy. They're always the bully, no
exactly.
matter what. But like you
And that,
said, at some point, you have to eliminate the threat. You have to eliminate the one who is constantly being the cause of new conflict, and that's Hamas and the Palestinians, as generally speaking. Because, like, there again, I'm gonna keep hammering it home. If Hamas is the only ones in the wrong, and they're the only ones that want to see Israel fall, then how about the other 1 million Palestinians on Gaza Strip uprise and do something about that?
and I don't understand these I guess bleeding hearts here or whatever that are showing them sympathy. When I see them. Like, could you imagine being at a what is it, a music festival, and these people coming in, and that kind of savagery take place? You can't even go anywhere without the threat of somebody coming in there and just destroying you. I mean, I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm not sympathetic going on right now. And here's what I asked you. I seen this other day that just blew my mind. I seen this march that was taking place, and this big banner held up that said "Queers for Palestine." Yeah, can you explain to me the logic behind that whatsoever? I mean, they
Man, there is no logic behind why there would be a queers for Palestine. Now, why they would do it is not a logical reason, but the reason why they would do it is because queers, people that identify themselves as a queer LGBT supporter, those people hate God. So anything that's associated with God, and Israel is a nation that's associated directly with God, because that's the Holy Land. So anytime it's Israel, they're going to be against it. So in this instance, it's Palestine versus Israel. So of course, the queers take the side of Palestine.
They do
And
not realize what would happen if they walked around over there with their flag and
they don't realize it. I mean, I would like a few of them to go over there and and show us what happened. Go over there, get on live, and go out there in the streets in public square and yell that they're a queer, they're queers for Palestine or they're LGBT pride or whatnot, and then see what happens as a result of that. I would like to see them do that to show the rest of these numbskulls what happens over there when you say that. Because over here in America, you can say whatever you want to say just about for the most part, and there's no repercussion really.
yeah,
As far
I
as
mean, yeah.
the government's not really gonna do anything to you if you say that you're a queer and you're loud and proud about it. But if you go to the Middle East and do the same thing, they'll throw you off a building. So
I mean, so where I mean, I guess where do we stop or I keep saying we because but it's Israel. I mean, where do they stop? I mean, do we just finally ignore everything? You already see Biden over there, and why is he sending relief packages? Uh, um, just I'm like, what are you doing? Um, and I'm like, let them go over there and level this place, and we won't have to worry about it anymore.
yeah, so about that whole the relief pack or whatever, like they can't just speaking about Biden administration, they can't just go help Israel and just say we're going to help Israel do this, and that, right? They have to add in. Well, we're going to also add in this Ukraine assistance as well. Like we've already helped Ukraine. I don't know how much more we can do for
Yeah,
Ukraine at this point. Um, but they have to add all that in. So that's what they do. They'll use one conflict or one crisis, and then they'll add in a bunch of other issues into that same package and say, "Oh, we're helping this cause," but then in reality, they're helping 10, 15 different causes that benefits that administration. So I don't like that part. And then as far as leveling that area over there, like I mean, that's pretty much what has to happen, especially if you're Israel. Like I don't know why anybody would say if they're Israel for them to just stand down and say and have peace talks. Like they've been doing peace talks for
yeah,
50,
you
60
can't.
years or so. At what point,
Yeah,
at some point, you got to say, hey, look, we got to eliminate the threat. The threat has to be eliminated, period.
yeah. Even when they had the moderates, like what was his name, Arafat. Uh, he couldn't have peace with them. And these guys, right there's no peace. There's no talking peace with somebody that wants to wipe you off the face of the earth. And God
Right.
forbid it's going to happen. They're going to get themselves on some kind of uh, rudimentary nuclear device one day. And then we're really going to be suffering the consequences of it. Because there was nothing where they'd love more than to set something like that off over there.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. They're nothing but like a pawn of Iran, really, or Iran, whatever they want to call it.
You
Like
know,
that's what that is.
and Syria as well, that's one of the most militant countries. And you remember when Trump, because he got blamed, he got, called every name in the book, racist, whatever, Islamophobe, when he did the same thing Obama did by keeping, certain countries out of the United States. I mean, do we really want to be letting uh, they're not vetting who's coming over here? I mean, we've already had this happen in this country twice with two major terrorist attacks. They're plotting another one. You can't tell me they're not sitting in there saying we're done.
Yeah, that's right. definitely can't forget the fact that, like you said just a moment ago, they're going to at all costs try to destroy America, Israel, anything that looks like freedom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or is it different, or is not radical Islam? If it's not radical Islam, they want to eliminate it. And so you can't take the foot off the gas and say, well, let's let Palestine become its own nation, and then they'll have their own government and they'll be peaceful and they'll leave everybody alone. That's not going to happen. They want to see Israel fall. They've been going in this direction forever. Like they've pretty much never not gone in that direction. So to think that they will be their own nation and now all of a sudden they'll be peaceful and it'll be a coexisting thing, not the case. They'll just be more emboldened and they'll have better funding as a nation to come on out and declare another war. And it may be even worse the next time.
I mean, yeah, because they're getting fundings from somewhere.
You can't reason with evil. Like you just can't. You can't say, "Hey, man, let's let bygones be bygones. You go your way, I go my way." Evil wants to destroy you, so there's no talking.
And like we mentioned the rockets while ago. I mean, we know they're getting funding from somewhere. And like the saying goes, I mean, if you kill a dog, you got to cut off the snake. I mean, we got to start going through, the root of it. If we find out you're sponsoring a terrorist nation, you need to be dealt with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, I'm not a warmonger, I'm not a war hawk, but I guess I'm more of a survivalist, because I don't want to see another 9/11 happen and it be handled in the way that the Bush administration handled it. Because we should have, like I said, fought wars like we did in World War II and rolled through the Middle East. That's just my opinion. I think we should have wiped out every country over there, and with no regard. I mean, leveled every city, and we wouldn't be having these problems. That's how I felt about it. We don't fight wars the way we used to, where nobody's supposed to die. No, when you go to war, you go to war to win.
Yeah, that's it.
And
I mean, it's about the Middle East. It's about that way. You got to level a lot of the area, like you really do. Like Yemen, Syria, there's some other countries over there that are Afghanistan that are very heavy in terrorism as far as Israel and as far as America and anything that's Western. It could be the UK, wherever, France. There's always these terrorist attacks, and it's on these type of nations, these Westernized nations, because they don't agree with what's going on in the Middle East, their way of life, as far as how they view it.
and why do we let the Saudis get away with what they do?
Man, see, they have so much influence, like money wise, like they're a very rich place. Then they have oil too. So I mean, that's really why they have the money that they have. So they're able to maneuver themselves on a global scale and kind of just go. People just kind of, it's funny because America and these different nations, they'll allow Saudi and certain nations and certain people to kind of fly under the radar, no big issue. But as soon as you get you got like a Russia, or you got right now, Palestine, they're looking at them as, let's go and try to handle this. But y'all don't do that for everybody. They don't treat everybody the same. It's what America and the government can get out of the situation. That's what there's other things going on that we don't see, there's reasons why they go and back these certain nations at certain times. And Saudi is one of the places. They're not gonna just go and declare a war with Saudi Arabia because it's too much money involved, too much power.
Well, let me ask you this, because I've never been able to figure it out. Because Palestine is not a nation. But yeah, they do have a government. They have a police force, even though it's now turned into a terrorist organization. Why not just say, okay, hey, you're a country?
Um, it'd be
You know,
bad for everybody
would
in that region, especially for Israel,
I mean,
because
would they be getting? Would that enable them to get like aid from the UN, which would just more empower them to?
yeah, it would
Okay,
definitely prop them up to a position where now they can go and reach out for it for sure. And not only from the UN, but you have other nations that will feel more emboldened and more confident in the fact that they can give aid to Palestine that is a nation and they can do something with that because now they have that status. It just be a bad, it'd be a terrible decision to let them just go and do that. My personal view, I say the people of Palestine need to rise up and if they truly don't agree with Hamas, if they truly don't agree with attacking Israel and any other nation because that nation doesn't agree with them, then the people of that area on Gaza Strip should rise up and they should go and fight Hamas. I mean, you try to eliminate the people who are your oppressor. That's the real oppressor. So I'm just saying, if they don't agree with them, then they should go and rise up. Otherwise, like, why is the world having a conversation about free Palestine? You're freeing Palestine. You're not freeing Palestine from Israel. You're freeing Palestine from Hamas. But Palestine itself obviously doesn't seem to really care about Hamas being the issue. So what are we talking about? It's crazy.
are we going to go through this endless cycle? I mean, I guess until Christ comes back. I mean, because it seems like that there's no end in sight. Uh,
It seems to be that way. I mean, this has been going on since biblical times. Like it's nothing new. Like
oh
in
yeah,
our modern age, we have been aware of this since like early 1900s. This
oh yeah,
conflict between these two nations. I mean, Israel didn't become a nation until I think 48.
yeah.
So
48.
yeah, so this is like kind of new, but it's not really not new. The religious war has been going on since way back. So it's not going to end. To put it simply, there's no end in sight. You know what I'm saying? So in order for Israel to move on at this point and at least have some positive way of life, they have to go to war and they have to eliminate the threat as much as they can each time it arises because they're going to keep arising. So then it won't be the end of it.
I mean, you think they need to go ahead and even go one step further to, yeah, stamp it out? I mean, even if it, hey, innocents get killed in war, maybe a mistake to take out an apartment complex, but if you got 20 terrorists in there, then we're taking out those 20 terrorists if we have collateral damage. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, I think that's what they're doing right now already. I
I
mean,
mean because they would
Israel
yeah,
hit a hospital last week or something like that, and then it got struck again, and that's when like 500 people got killed. And there was a question in the air of like, who did it? Was Hamas responsible or was Israel responsible? Well, Israel hit that same hospital like 3 days earlier, so it makes more sense that they would hit it again because they knew that there was weaponry and
their
certain
command,
individuals in that building.
yeah, they had their command
So
and control
you know what I'm
structure
saying?
there.
But see, that's the public relations part of it. They don't want to describe and say, yeah, we did this because this right here, because like I said, Israel's gonna look bad because they're hitting a hospital.
But
But the
I
reason for hitting
that,
hospital, they had a legit reason. So oh, I lost you. I lost you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you yet. No sound. No sound yet. Can you hear me? I can't hear you though. I can see you, but can't hear you. There's no audio. I'll be right back.